Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do this. I love fans. If you know my channel by now, you'll know that I love to make shells or fans in the patterns I do. One, they grow really quickly, so you get a lot of blanket for your hour, and it really does grow quickly. I've been using this Deramore Studio anti-piling Aran. I've never really used this one before. I love Aran. One, it's not too thin and it's not too thick. It's a real in-between weight of yarn. It crochets beautiful. It really does, and it's a really good thickness for blankets. Nice. It's nice and soft as well. So I've got it in this really pretty pink. I don't have the label for the pink, and I've got it in this white. It's really nice. So I'm going to show you how to do this pattern today. And look at my new crochet hook holder. Look at this. These are my spare crochet hooks, and look who's on it. I've got Muttley on it, and I've got my name on the back. Now the new mug that's being produced has got a ball of yarn here, and it just says Alison Russell's crochet channel, or I'm hooked to you on it, so it's not just that bit. And you'll see these mugs, everybody loves Muttley, that's why I put Muttley on it. I don't have a logo for my channel. The light's not showing that up so nice. It really is a beautiful mug, and if you really love Muttley from all the Happy Meal videos, there's a couple of bags and a couple of mugs down there, and one or two other little items. I haven't done all the sweatshirts and that everybody else does. I've just stuck to mugs and bags. You'll see them in the merchandise area that's down underneath the video. And so I thought, do you know something? It's great for just keeping your crochet hooks in. It really is. It's a great little hook holder. You know, my spare hooks that I use when I'm just sitting around. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this really pretty large fan with these two rows in between like this. It's a really pretty blanket. You can do it in any colour choice you like. But beautiful in black and white. It really would, because all that retro colour and boho style is all coming back into fashion. Really contrasting colours, but it's beautiful. So the two yarns that I'm going to use for this sample, I'm going to use this lilac paint box in Aran, and I'm going to use a white Aran. You can use any yarn that you like for this pattern. So I'm going to show you with these two. I'll get my blanket back. I'm going to do this bordering part in white, and I'm going to do the fan in the purple. So to do that pattern, you need to do your chain, your foundation chain in sets of 8, and then we're going to add 1. Now, because we're going to do 2 rows before we start the fans, you need to make sure you have the right number of stitches. So do it in sets of 8. So I'm going to do my slip knot. So we need to do a chain in sets of 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then again another 8. Keep doing them in sets of 8. So I've got enough of a foundation chain for a nice sample of this blanket. Now we're going to add 1 extra stitch. So add 1 extra to all of those 8s. So we're going to do 2 rows of UK double crochet, and if you're in the USA, that's a single crochet for you. You need to do 2 rows. So we're going to go into the second chain in your foundation chain. So count 1 and 2. Don't count the loop, just count the stitches that I've already made. The problem with using white yarn is it glares. 1 and 2 into that second stitch, and we're going to do a double crochet and do 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way along. So I've got 1, 2. It might be quite good to count them as you do them in sets of 8, because we're going to do another row, and if you've got too many or not enough stitches, your pattern's not going to work out. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to do my 1 double crochet into every stitch, and I'm going to do 2 rows. So at the end, I'll chain 1 and turn, and I'll do 1 more row of double crochets. So that's 2 rows of double crochets. And if you're in the USA, that's single crochets for you. So I'll do my 2 rows and I'll come back and show you what to do next. So when you get to the end, with doing your double crochets, chain 1 and turn and work 1 more row of double crochet. So I've done my 2 rows of double crochet. I've counted my stitches to make sure that I have sets of 8. Now I'm going to do my last double crochet into here. When I've got 2 stitches on my hook, I'm going to change my yarn. So I'm going to get the end of the colour that I'm going to do my fans, put it over my hook and just pull it through those 2 loops. Just leave the white there just now. I'm going to get my working part of my yarn, give that a little twist over. A little bit fiddly to begin with. Pull that through that stitch. Tighten that up a little bit. And turn your work around. Now into that burst stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet with my lilac and pull through. So I've done my first double crochet and I'm going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3. Into the 4th one, we're going to do a large shell or a fan, whatever you like to call it. We're going to put 7 stitches into this 1 stitch. We're going to do a double treble crochet, and if you're in the USA, this is a treble crochet for you. So you're going to put your yarn around your hook twice, 1 and 2, and go into that 4th stitch. So we're skipping 3 stitches and go into there. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that's you got your first one. So we need 7, so that's 1. So yarn over twice and into the same stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops, and yarn over and through 2 loops. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we've got 7 double trebles all into that 1 stitch. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip 7 stitches. You're going to skip 7 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're going to put another fan into here. So that's yarn around twice and into that stitch. So that's like your 8th stitch. It's 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And this is what you have. Oops, we've actually got snow. It is the month of May, and in Scotland we've actually got snow. That's why the light's going in. I've even got my blinds drawn and everything, but the light is just changing so much because it's actually snowing outside. So this is what you get. You've got this loop. Don't worry, we're going to tie that down when we do the next row along. You're going to chain one, skip 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Into the 8th stitch, you're going to build another large fan all the way along. Remember your chain 1 after you've done your fan of 7. So you should have 4 stitches left, and into the last stitch I'm going to do a double crochet. So put your yarn through and pull your stitch through there, your loop through onto your hook. Now get your white back. I'm going to put that through and use that and pull it through those 2 stitches. Find my working yarn, to chain 1 and turn. So I'm now back to using the white. Now I'm not going to cut the lilac because once I've done my 2 rows of white, it's not that far to go up. You can cut your lilac if you want and sew in the edge. It's up to you. I'm going to show you what it looks like if you just carry it up. You can do a border down the side if you want with this. So into that double crochet, you're going to put another double crochet. What we're going to do now is, around this shell, you should have 7 stitches. You're going to put a double crochet through the top of each of these stitches. So if you count them, you'll know you've got 7 around here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and remember that stitch there, 7. Now down here you're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3. Now into that 4th stitch you're going to put a double crochet and you're going to trap in that chain. So just go right over and do a double crochet and catch in that lilac like this. It's going to tie it in like that. Don't worry if it starts to pop like that. It will flatten out once we do the next row. It will flatten out. So again, go round 7. You're going to skip 3 of this row down here and you'll do a double crochet just to lock that stitch in. So around the top here you're going to do your double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't do them too tight. 5, 6 and 7. Now to lock it in, you're going to skip down here. You're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one, do a double crochet, and that'll tie in that joint of fan. So around the fan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you don't need to lock the fan in at the end here. Just go into that double crochet and do a double crochet here like that, and this is what you get. Now don't worry about it going like that. it will flatten out. As you can see, it will flatten out. You're going to chain one and turn. Now after you've done a fan, you'll always do these 2 rows of double crochet. So right into the very first double crochet, we're going to do 1 double crochet into every stitch along to the other end. So this is what we have. We've got our 2 rows of double crochets done. Now I've got 1 stitch left and I'm going to put my hook through and pull my white through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my white and I'm going to bring up this lilac. Remember, we didn't cut the lilac. I'm going to bring it up and pull it through those 2 loops. Now you will have a loop here, but if we put a little border on, you can put a little border of treble crochets on down there, or you can just cut it and stitch it in. It's up to you. You can either do that and just pull your loop up, or what you can do, if you want to do it, you can just cut your lilac, pull your stitch through, and then you can cut your white, leave enough to stitch in. Then we're going to take the lilac again, and we're just going to, I think I should just finish it off that way. Make sure I've got my 2 stitches on, put my lilac over, make sure I've got enough tail to stitch in, and pull it through those 2. Just give it a little twist to tighten it in. Now you're going to chain 3. Either way you finish the end, you can either finish it and then cut the tail off, or you can just bring your yarn up. It's up to you. So I've chained 1 just to hold that in. Now I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I'm not counting that first one that I've done because that's quite a really tight little stitch there, just to hold that in. Turn my work around. Now into this double crochet we're going to put another 3 double trebles. We're going to do the fan row again. So into there you're going to put 3 double trebles. So that chain of 4 counts as 1. We need 4 altogether. So we need another 3. So that's, your chain counts as 1, that counts as 2. 3 and 4. So you've got a half a fan on the end. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to skip 7 stitches, and that should bring us into that double crochet that's in the middle here. So we're going to skip 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and into the number 8 down there we're going to put our 7 double treble crochets. So that's 1. We're going to build a fan again. That's 1, 2, 6 and 7. Chain 1. I'm going to count to make sure I've got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Chain 1. Skip 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to build my next fan into that 8th stitch. You want to do that all the way along. And this is what it looks like. Now don't worry about it looking like this. Once you get your rows of double crochets on, it's going to lock those fans in and it'll flatten it down. So don't worry about that, and we'll get our little ends all stitched into the end. Once you've got to the end, you're going to change your yarn back to your white, and you'll do 2 rows of that white like this. So we're going to work all the way to the end. Into my last stitch I need to put 4, only 4 double trebles for a half a fan on the end. So what you'll notice with the blanket, when you do fans on a blanket, you'll always have a full fan, a half a fan, and then a full one in the middle. Then you'll have a full fan and then a half. As you build it up, you'll keep having a half a fan every second row of your fans. It keeps it symmetrical. So I'm going to finish my fans to the end, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I've got my last 7, I've done my chain 1, and I'm going to skip 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It takes me to my last stitch. Now into here I'm going to put 4 double treble crochets. We're going to do a half a fan. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm not going to quite finish it. I'm going to keep 2 stitches on here, and I'm going to take my white up again. So I'm just going to snip my lilac, put my white over my hook, and pull the white through. Just tighten that up. And I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So what we're going to do into the very first stitch, I'm going to do a double crochet. Now don't worry about that, that will get all tightened in when we stitch our edges in. And again we're going to put our double crochets around here. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, because there's 4 in here. 1 double crochet into the top of each of your long stitches. Remember that one as well. And down here you're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th one you're going to do a double crochet, and that's going to lock that in. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4 into the 4th stitch, and then do your 7 around your fan, and you're going to do your 1 double crochet around the top of your fan, so that should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and remember 1 into that kind of big stitch, that's 7. We're going to lock this in by skipping 1, 2, 3 stitches, and into the 4th stitch do your double crochet, and that'll lock that fan down. So I'm going to work around my fans. I'll skip my 3 stitches, and in the 4th one I'll do my double crochet to lock that in, and work around the fan till I get to this end. I'll chain 1, and then I'll do 1 row of double crochet, just like we did here. Now the thing with this video is, just rewind the video and do each stage. Now don't worry, I keep saying this, don't worry about it going like this, because once you finish your blanket and it gets bigger, it will flatten out, because this is the one I'm working on, And look, that one has all flattened out as well. It is pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way across the top of this, and I'll get to the end and I'll come back. I'm going to stitch my ends in on my yarns. So this is what my little sample looks like. Look how pretty that is. And it's completely reversible. You've got your fans on this side, the reverse of them on that side, and the same on this side. I want to show you what to do to go down the side here. Now you can either do it with double crochets or you can do it with treble crochets. It's up to you. Now I'm going to do a chain one, and then into that space I'm just going to do a double crochet. We'll do double crochets down here, and then into the next little space we'll just do another double crochet, and then we'll just work our way evenly down the blanket, putting a double crochet. That's a single crochet if you're in the USA. When you get to this purple long part, put two in there. Put one in and then put another one in, and then one into the joint, one into the next little space between those two double crochet rows, then one into the joint, and that's how you neaten up your blanket right down to there, and then one in that end. Now I wouldn't bother with the bottom. It'll be there. I'll stick one in the corner just to bring it down around there. And that's how you neaten up the end on your blanket. Before you do this blanket, it will flatten out, and even if you pick that up and put it down again, it's flattened out a lot more. It will flatten, but look how pretty it is. It is so pretty. I'm going to get my pink one back. Look at that. It is so pretty. Give this a try. Give it a try. Now what you're going to do is rewind the video. Once you've done this row here, then follow the video, and when you've got that row done, just rewind the video, and you're just going to repeat these sections. That is, and that one is your repeat sections. So don't be afraid to rewind the video and re-watch it, or rewind it and follow it. Once you know what you're doing, now that we've got this on, you can see that your first one is a big fan, your second one is a half a fan, and then your next fan is a large fan, and then you'll have a half a fan on the end here, and in between you've just got your two double crochet rows in between, and it makes this really pretty fan blanket. Look at that. That is so pretty. It's so pretty. This one is done with normal double knitting yarn. It's a little bit thinner, this one, and a little bit lighter. And this is the one that I done with the Aran yarn. So give it a try. I'm sure you're going to love it. You really will. And it crochets up really quick. It really does, because you think that fan and those two rows, that's at least 3 inches high. So you're going 3 inches each time you do your pattern on your blanket. It really is a quick crochet blanket. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you click on the bell icon, YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.